Alright, it's here. The Walking Dead Season 1 finale, entitled TS-19. Now this episode was really good, really interesting as well. We get some very good information. Now this episode starts off with the group, it starts off with a flashback actually, where we are in the hospital where Shane and Rick are. Now in the first episode, we saw that Rick was shot, and he was kind of led into a coma. And what happens is Shane is in the hospital and the zombie breakout happens, and there's a special op group who they're kind of quarantine the building, and what they're doing is they're trying to kill off the walkers. But not only are they killing the walkers, they're killing the people who are alive too. They're killing anything and everything that gets in their way. If they think you're infected, they're just going to kill you. And Shane sees this, and with Rick unconscious, Shane decides to take Rick to a safer place so that he can survive. So he takes him out into a different room. He locks the door shut with another bed so that the walkers can't get to Rick. And he leaves the facility, and that's the end of the flashback, pretty much. And then we're led back to the CDC area, where Dr. Jenner pretty much gives everybody food, drinks, and things of that nature. The whole group is pretty much enjoying themselves. They're enjoying the eating. They're enjoying a nice place to stay. They're pretty much safe underground. And the doctor pretty much told them, hey, once you're in, you can't get out. So basically, he leads them down to the rooms that they can sleep in. They have they have warm water to bathe in, and they love that because it's been such a long time since they've been able to have an actual shower and things of that nature. And some of the characters get drunk. Shane gets really drunk. Rick gets drunk. Shane gets so drunk to the point where he actually sees Lori, and they're kind of in a place alone, and Shane tries to basically rape Lori, and she stops him, and he leaves. And then we're led back to the area where they were in the beginning, where they were eating and stuff like that. This is basically where the main computer is and everything. And Dr. Jenner pretty much explains the zombified process. What happens to the body before and after it is zombified. Basically, he says that before, he shows the group the brain and how it works, how the cerebellum works and everything like that, and what makes you who you are. And then he basically shows you the zombified process, what happens to you when you're zombified. And what happens is that basically you're resurrected, but only a little part, and you're basically just a drone, just a killing machine. And I thought that was very interesting how they explained that. That was very unique. They did it a little different in the comics, and like I said, they're doing some different things here in the TV show than they are in the comics, but I thought the way they explained that was really good. That was very well done. We get back to we also see this clock that's counting down, and Dale asks the guy. He goes, "What's up with this clock? It's counting down to something. What happens when it reaches 0?" And basically, the doctor tells him everything's gonna lock down and the building's gonna self-destruct. And they're like, everybody just goes crazy. They're like, you gotta let us out of here. You cannot keep us here. You cannot decide our fate. We should have a chance to see this through. We should have a chance to see what happens, no matter what. We should be allowed to survive. And the doctor is convinced that why should we leave when we're gonna get killed eventually anyway? This is our extinction. This is the point where the human race ends, and we should accept it. And the group doesn't agree with him. Now there are a couple characters who do just kind of agree with him. Andrea and Jaqui, I think her name is. And during this process of trying to convince the doctor to let him go, it happens. The doctor decides, you know what, I'll let you guys go, but the doors upstairs, you're going to have to get out on your own. Basically, what happens is the door that they were trying to get out was reinforced so well that it could withstand a rocket launcher. So the doctor lets them out, and they leave. Jaqui, the black lady, she decides to stay. She says, you know what, I'm not leaving. I'm going to stay here. I don't want to end up like as a zombie or something like that. And Andrea decides to stay too. And Dale's like, come on, Andrea, you can't stay. You can't stay. And Andrea pretty much is like, I have to stay. She's right. And eventually, they decide to come around. Andrea does, but Jaqui, she decides to stay with the doctor, and everybody gets out, and the building pretty much self-destructs. This episode was just really, really heartbreaking in a way, because the cast is really cut down to really a few people now. There's only Shane, there's only Rick and his family, Dale, and Glenn, and Merle's brother, and that's it. So the cast has been pretty much cut down. I'm very interested to see what they're going to do next season. Very, very human emotions in this show. I mean, it's hard to tell what would you do in this situation, because here you have an opportunity to kind of end it all right now and just stay underground and go down with the building. But then again, you have another chance where you can leave the building and just kind of see how this whole thing is going to ride out. A lot of characters are starting to worry me. Shane, especially Shane, I pretty much know his time is coming. Shane, he's going crazy he's still jealous over Rick coming back and being with Lori. A lot of the other characters are starting to break down as well. Andrea, she was pretty much ready to accept her fate, but thanks to Dale, she was able to come through. And they got out of the building pretty, it was a pretty close call too, because one of the characters had a hand grenade, and they were able to bust through the reinforced glass, because they tried to shoot through it, they tried to use an axe to bust the window, and it didn't work. So that was kind of a close call. But this series is already going to be on DVD. Now, there was something that happened with Walking Dead. Some people said that the writers were fired, and I read somewhere that some of the writers were fired. I think it was Comic Book Movies or CBR.com. But I think they cleared that up. I don't think the writers were fired. It was just some misconception there. But anyway, great show, great first season. Can't wait to the next season. If you haven't seen Walking Dead, when it comes out on DVD, please do watch it. Please do pick it up. It is a good show. If you haven't read the comic, please read the comic series. It's still ongoing. It's a fantastic show. Fantastic comic series as well. And like I said, the thing, this is what I like about the zombie genre. The zombie genre is so well done, because it's an end of the world. It's an end of the world process, and you get to see how these people are going to react to this. It's not just about people suffering and getting ate and stuff like that. It's about people dealing with the fact that this is the end of the world and how they're going to deal with that. So that's all I have to say about it. Just an excellent show. Fantastic writing, fantastic acting. The cast is great, and can't wait for more.